So, Liam tells us you're a librarian. That's quaint enough. What about your family? What do they do? My parents passed away when I was young. I was raised by a guardian. And I don't have much family left. The moment she said that, they called her a gold digger, an opportunist, a beautiful trap, but they had no idea who they were talking to. They saw a quiet woman with a simple life. They didn't see the errors of a global empire. A woman whose name was etched onto skyscrapers and foundations across the world. And on the day they finally push her too far, Vance was born into a world of unimaginable wealth. The Vance family name was synonymous with power, a dynasty built on international shipping, energy, and technology. But for it was a golden cage. She grew up surrounded by people who never saw her. Only her trust fund, her connections, her last name. Love was a transaction. Friendship was a networking opportunity. She was tired of it. She craved something real, something pure. So, she made a choice that shocked a few who knew her. She walked away. She moved to a new city, took a small apartment, and got a job as a librarian. She told no one her real name, introducing herself only as Alara. She wanted to be valued for her mind and her heart, not her bank account. And it was in that quiet world between aisles of dusty books that she met Liam. Liam was an architect with big dreams and an even bigger heart. He was kind, funny, and saw the world with a sense of wonder. He fell in love with a librarian who could quote classic poetry and had a laugh that felt like sunshine. He didn't need to know her family, her history, or her finances. He loved her for who she was. But his family was about to test that love in ways neither of them could imagine. The first dinner at Liam's family home felt like an interrogation. His mother, Margaret, surveyed a simple dress with a critical eye. His sister, Chloe, offered a smile that never reached her eyes. His father, Robert, shook her hand with a grip that felt more like an assessment. So, Margaret began, her tone overly sweet. Liam tells us you're a librarian. That's quaint. What about your family? What do they do? Kept her story simple. The one she had prepared. My parents passed away when I was young. I was raised by a guardian. I don't have much family left. The temperature in the room dropped. Chloe smirked. Oh, a charity case. How noble of you, Liam. Liam shot his sister a warning look. Chloe, stop it. But the seed was planted. From that day forward, in their eyes, wasn't person. She was a project, a liability, a gold digger, waiting for her moment to strike. Every family event became a new trial. They would give her backhanded compliments. That's a lovely blouse. You can find the most amazing things at thrift stores these days, can't you? They would forget to include her in conversations. Speaking of lavish vacations and expensive hobbies they knew she couldn't afford. Chloe was the worst. She would whisper to Liam just loud enough for A to hear. Are you sure about her? She's awfully quiet. People with nothing to hide usually aren't so secretive. Liam defended her always. He loved and he believed his family would eventually see the woman he saw. But knew better. They didn't want to see her. They wanted to see her label. The final straw came a year later at Christmas. The family gathered around the tree, exchanging expensive gifts. Hand-knitted a beautiful scarf from Margaret and given Robert a rare first-edition book she'd found through a library archive. They were received with polite but cold thank yous. Then it was Chloe's turn. She handed a small, perfectly wrapped gift with malicious grin. This one's for you. I thought it might be helpful. Opened it. Inside was a book. The title in bold gold letters read, The Art of Marrying Up, a Guide for the Ambitious Woman. A few cousins snickered. Margaret let out a quiet disapproving tisk, but did nothing. Robert just looked away. The air was thick with humiliation. Illa's cheeks burned, but her eyes remained steady. Liam stood up, his voice trembling with rage. What is wrong with you? We're leaving. He took a hand, and they walked out, leaving the cruel laughter behind him. That night, cried, not because of the insult, but because the man she loved was being hurt by the people who were supposed to love him most. 2 years into their relationship, Liam proposed. He took her to a local park under a sky full of stars and gave her a simple, elegant ring he'd saved for months to buy. She said yes, her heart overflowing with love for this good, kind man. But when they shared the news, his family's reaction was ice cold. Margaret pulled aside at the engagement party, her voice a lowest. "I don't know what your game is, but I'm warning you. My son is a good man with a bright future. We will not let you drag him down. If you think you're getting your hands on his inheritance or his future earnings, you have another thing coming. We will be watching you." Didn't flinch. She simply looked the older woman in the eyes and said, "The only thing I want from your son is his heart. I'm sorry you can't see that." Margaret scoffed, unconvinced. The threat was clear. They would never accept her. The breaking point came at Margaret and Robert's 30th anniversary dinner. Liam, who had recently received a major promotion, insisted on treating his entire family to a meal at the city's most exclusive and expensive restaurant. Throughout the dinner, the family directed all their praise at Liam, pointedly ignoring her if she were just a silent accessory. Finally, as the dessert plates were cleared, Robert raised his glass in a toast. "To our son, Liam," he announced, his voice booming, "for his success, his hard work, and his generosity in treating us all tonight." He then turned his gaze to a smug look on his face. "And a special thank you to her for letting him spend his money so freely. It must be nice to finally enjoy the fruits of someone else's labor." The table fell silent. It was a direct hit, a public declaration. "You are a gold digger." Liam started to object, but gently placed a hand on his arm, stopping him. She looked at Robert, her expression unreadable. For years, she had endured their whispers, their insults, their judgment. She had stayed silent to protect the simple, beautiful life she had built with Liam. But in that moment, she realized her silence wasn't protecting him. It was enabling them. It was time for the truth. Lara slowly folded her napkin and placed it on the table. A strange calm confidence settled over her. "You're right, Robert," she said, her voice clear and steady, cutting through the silence. "It is nice, which is why tonight the fruits of my labor will be taking care of this." She motioned for the waiter, who rushed over the check, "Please," for the entire table. Before anyone could protest, she reached into her simple purse and pulled out a card. It wasn't a typical credit card. It was sleek black and made of metal. She handed it to the waiter. The waiter's eyes widened in recognition. He had been trained to recognize it. The Centurion card, an invitation-only card reserved for the world's wealthiest individuals. His entire demeanor shifted from professional to deeply deferential. "Right away, Ms." He paused, looking at the name on the card, and his jaw nearly hit the floor. "Right away, Ms. Vance." The name echoed across the table. "Vance." Chloe frowned. "Vance? Why did he call you Vance?" Ignored her. She took out her phone, placed on the table, and dialed a number on speakerphone. A crisp, professional voice answered immediately. "Vance Global, David speaking. How can I help you, Miss Vance?" Illa's voice was calm and authoritative. "David, it's me. I need an update on the Sterling Tower acquisition. Did our final offer of $900 million go through?" The family froze. Forks hovered mid-air. "Yes, Miss Vance," the voice on the phone replied. "The board accepted this afternoon. The Sterling Tower is now officially a Vance property." "Excellent," said. "Also, please have my car brought around to the front of Lucille Restaurant in 10 minutes. The Rolls-Royce." She hung up. The silence that followed was deafening. It was heavier than any insult, louder than any argument. Margaret's face was ashen. Robert's mouth hung open, his proud toes forgotten. Chloe stared at Lara, her eyes wide with disbelief and horror, replaying every cruel job, every condescending remark she had ever made. The book, the thrift store comments, the whispers. Liam looked from his family. A storm of shock, confusion, and dawning understanding on his face. "Vance, eyes to the Vance fortune. A woman whose net worth could buy and sell their entire lineage 1,000 times over. The woman they had called a gold digger was the gold. Illa finally turned her gaze to Liam's family. There was no triumph in her eyes, only a profound sadness. "For 3 years," she said softly, "I have listened to you call me unworthy. I have watched you disrespect the woman your son loves. I never said a word because I want a life where my last name didn't matter. I wanted a love that was real." She looked at Liam, her expression softening, and I found it with him. Then back to his family. "Your son's love was the only fortune I was ever chasing. I'm truly sorry you were all too blinded by your own small assumptions to see it." She stood up, her posture regal. "The check is taken care of. Please enjoy the rest of your evening." With that, she took Liam's hand and they walked out of the restaurant, leaving his family sitting in the ruins of their own arrogance, shrouded in a heavy, shameful silence. The ride home was quiet at first. Liam finally broke the silence, his voice filled with emotion. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because," answered, her voice trembling slightly, "I needed to know you love me. Just me, the librarian who loves books and quiet afternoons, not a lair of Vance." He understood. In that moment, he loved her more than ever. The frantic, tearful apology calls from his family started the next day, but the damage was done. The Liam set firm boundaries, choosing peace over forced forgiveness. They built a beautiful life together. Continued to work at the library part-time because she loved it with her immense resources. She funded Liam's dream firm, which he dedicated to designing innovative, sustainable housing for low-income families. She didn't change, but the world around her did. The whispers stopped. The judgment disappeared because they finally saw her. Not the gold digger, but the queen who had been hiding in plain sight all along. How often do we judge a book by its cover? How often do we assign value to people based on what we think they have or what we think they want? Story is a powerful reminder that a person's worth is not found in their bank account or their last name. It's found in their character, their kindness, and their grace under pressure. She didn't need to prove them wrong with anger or revenge. Her quiet dignity was her power. Her truth was her victory. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share with someone who needs to be reminded of their own hidden worth. Because true wealth isn't about what you own. It's about who you are when you have nothing to prove.